In today's world of soaring costs and additional airline fees, I can see the appeal in traveling with a carry-on only, but sometimes it's just simply unavoidable and you need to check a bag. So today I am going to lean on my extensive travel experience from my past as a former Disney on Ice skater, and I am going to share my expert advice so that your next trip with a checked bag runs smoothly and stress-free. In the past, when I traveled with Disney on Ice, I used to travel with two of the largest suitcases, a personal item, which was a rolling carry-on bag, and a backpack. Can you imagine navigating the world with four pieces of luggage? I did it. And although sometimes it wasn't the easiest thing to do, I definitely learned a thing or two about how to travel efficiently and effectively, whether you have bags or not. When traveling with a checked bag or a carry-on item, the first thing you want to do is check your airline's policies. Every airline has their own rules regarding what size you can bring and how much weight can be in each bag, so you want to visit the page for those policies before you head out to the airport. And make sure that you weigh your bags before you head out, because some airlines charge hefty fees if your bags are overweight. And you don't want to be that person in the queue who has to open up their suitcase and move things around just to make the weight limit. You also want to learn what your airline's policies are to file a claim should your luggage be lost or damaged. Before you begin packing, the first thing you're going to want to do is sort the items that need to go into your suitcase. You will want to place liquids in waterproof bags. You can use a Ziploc bag or tape the tops or buy specific travel containers for your liquids. Before you put anything in your checked bag, lay everything out on the floor and take a photograph of the contents that you're about to put inside. This will definitely help you remember what was in your bag, and it will also help should you need to make a claim. You may also keep a list of the contents in your personal item so that you have easy reference to it. I usually make a list up of what I want to bring, and I just tuck that away, and it helps me with packing. And should I need to make a claim, I've already got it typed out. It's very important that you keep all your travel documents, important information, and personal items that are of value on your person. Do not check anything in your checked bag that could potentially go missing and you would have a difficult time replacing. I'll give you an example. When my husband and I first got married, I had traveled quite a bit. He had traveled a little bit. He had given me these beautiful earrings to wear on our wedding day. Well, he bought it as a set, and there was also a matching necklace. We had flown to Hawaii, and we spent 5 days in Oahu, and then we hopped on a short flight over to Kauai. Well, he was so nervous, he didn't want me to find out about the necklace, so he stuck the box inside the suitcase and thought, I'll give it to her in the second half of the trip. It'll be a wonderful surprise. Well, the surprise was TSA searched our bags and the box was missing. So he didn't tell me until after the trip, and this was a very difficult lesson. So do not put anything, it doesn't matter how short the flight is, don't put anything of value in your suitcase. You might regret it. I would also keep an extra set of clothes for the first day or two of your trip in your personal item, just in case your suitcase is delayed or goes missing. You at least have a day or two to get through before you need to replace anything or before your luggage is delivered. Another item that's somewhat new to the market is the use of AirTags. You can put this discreetly in your suitcase and you can download the app and you can track your suitcases wherever they may end up. This has saved many people and helped them find their suitcases that were in holding facilities, and they were able to get their suitcase back and go on their vacation without a hitch. Most airlines have a baggage policy that they will cover if your bags are damaged, delayed, or lost, but sometimes it's a good idea to look into extra insurance. There are several different external trip insurance companies that you can book, so read the fine print. I personally use World Nomads. I really love their customer service and I think they're great. I am not being paid to tell you this. This is just from my own personal experience. If you arrive to your destination and your bags are missing, do not leave the airport. Please make sure you report your missing bags prior to leaving. This will ensure that the policy claim is going to run a lot more smoother and a lot less hassle. You need to obtain a PIR, a property irregularity report. Make sure you obtain this and keep a copy on you. You will need to submit a claim and report details of all the lost contents within your suitcase, which is why that list is going to come in handy, and also the photos you took prior to packing your case. Each airline has a specific way that they want you to file a claim. So again, you're going to have to visit their customer service desk or go online and know the policies and how to proceed. And if you do need to replace any items immediately, make sure that you keep a copy of all your receipts because you will need to submit those. And let's be honest about your purchases. So if you're on a business trip and you need to purchase a suit, okay, that's probably going to be reimbursed. But if you are going on a beach vacation and you buy a fur coat, that's not really going to work. They're not going to approve that. So think about what the items are that you truly need and purchase those things so that it doesn't, disrupt your vacation, but they also have to look at those receipts and determine if they're going to reimburse you or not. Okay, so what steps can you take to avoid having your bags lost? Number one is make sure that you have an identity tag on the outside of your case. Those are the little labels that you can attach. I like to use the leather buckle straps because I feel like they're a little more sturdy and secure, but there's so many aftermarket different types that you can get. There's some that are even like encased within the suitcase. Just make sure you actually take the time to fill that out. They do offer the little paper ones with the elastic band when you check in for your flight. They're very flimsy, and can you imagine if you've seen any videos of luggage handlers, they can be ripped off in a second. So get something a little bit more sturdy. I also recommend putting the same contact information inside your suitcase should the exterior one get ripped off by accident. If your case is opened, they can find you that way. You may consider direct flights only. This means that when you check your bags, they're going to go on one plane and get to your destination. The chances of them arriving are a lot higher than having to be shuffled around if you have multiple connecting flights. Even though multiple flights might be cheaper, think about the hassle that you would have to go through to replace your contents of your suitcase. A couple notes about checking in. You want to make sure that you arrive in ample time that you can get through the airport, check your bags, get through security, and get to your gate. So you don't want to be rushing. There is a caveat to that. You do not want to arrive too early. If you're arriving and trying to check your bags in 4 or more hours before your flight, sometimes they don't allow you to. Second of all, if they do take it, they're not ready to load your bags. So they're going to take your bags to a holding area, which is another area of the airport. Then when it's time to start collecting the bags for your flight, those bags are going to make it over to where the plane's going to be. Hopefully. So I advise not checking in super early because you don't want your bags to be forgotten or left behind. The same rule applies on the other flip side of that. You don't want to arrive too late because even though you can check in for your flight and you give them your bags and you run to your gate and get on your flight, did your bags make it on the flight? Sometimes they don't. Not only that, if you and your bags make it to the flight, what if the cargo area is full? Your bags aren't going on the plane. They'll sometimes fill the plane with other items. Maybe it was a canceled flight from the night before. They have to get all that luggage to that destination for those passengers. So your bag is going to be left behind. So I recommend checking in 2 hours before your flight. That is probably the safest bet that your suitcases are going to get on the plane and arrive at your destination. Something else that you should do is when you're purchasing your flight and you know that you're going to have a checked bag and your airline requires you to pay for that checked bag, you can opt to do it later, but I don't recommend that. You should purchase your checked bags when you buy your ticket. That way the airline is expecting you to bring a bag to check, and they should make accommodations for that. When you're handing your bag over at the ticket counter and they're tagging your bag for your flight, please make sure that you read the tags. Make sure that the barcode is smudge-free and that scanners can easily read it, and make sure that the destination airport code matches the airport that you're actually flying to. You can Google search what the airport code is. Are you traveling internationally? The ticket agent should instruct you if you need to pick up your bags if you have a connecting flight and recheck them. Sometimes when you're flying internationally and you have connecting flights, you'll be required to pick up your bags when you land at your layover. You have to claim them off of the carousel and then follow the connecting flight path and then recheck the bags. So if you don't know to do this and you don't claim your bags, they're going to be left at that airport, and you're going to find that when you get to your final destination, your bags are not going to be there. The ticket agent should remind you or instruct you on what to do. But if you already know you have an international flight and it has a connection and they don't say anything to you, I would definitely ask, excuse me, do I have to claim my bags and check them onto the second flight or third flight and so on? Just make sure that you know what you're supposed to do because ultimately you're responsible for your bags. Always remove old bag check tickets off of your cases prior to going on a trip. This avoids confusion and your bags ending up at the wrong destination. You also want to keep all the receipts that you receive from your checked bags. When you're at the ticket counter, sometimes they will stick the bag claim check on the back of a printed boarding pass. If you're using the app, sometimes it'll have track my bags and it'll give you a code on the app. But anytime you hand over a checked bag, you should get some form of receipt or tracking number so that you know how to claim your bags. And if there was something that happened to them, this is the number that they would need to be able to process a claim or to look into finding your bags for you. So you're standing at the carousel and you're wondering, well, where's my bag? When is it going to show up? Well, here's something to consider. Were you one of the first passengers to check in for your flight? If so, when they took your bags, it got brought to a certain area in the airport. So typically, first one to check in, your bags are on the plane first. Last one to check in, your bags are on the plane last. And then the reverse would come true when you landed at your destination. So if you were last on the flight, your bags would come off first. And if you were first, your bags would come off last. It's a general rule of thumb. It also depends on how they put them on the little carousels and how they put them on the train and what other things are being loaded into the cargo hold. But just be patient. Your bags should show up. So just to recap, 1, make sure you check with your airline on the size and weight that you're allowed to bring for your checked bag. 2, when you're packing, be organized, keep a list of your contents, and take a photo of what you're about to put in your case before you fully pack it. 3, keep all your important documents and valuables on your person and do not check them in your bag. 4, you can use air tags to track your bags. 5, know your insurance policy or consider buying extra insurance for your trip. 6, know your airline's policies should your luggage be delayed, damaged, or lost. 7, keep receipts should you need to replace any items if your baggage goes missing. 8, remember, check in on time so that you ensure your bags make your flight. 9, use luggage tags with your contact information. 10, know what your responsibilities are should you be traveling internationally and have connecting flights overseas. And there you have it. Those are my tips for traveling with a checked bag to hopefully make your next trip run smoothly and hassle-free. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. Till next time. Bye.